Hello and welcome to the SOFII User Guide. My name's Joe Burnett. I'm the contributing editor at SOFII, the showcase of fundraising, innovation and inspiration. I just wanted to create this quick video to show you how the SOFII website works and to take you through some of the core aspects and core sections of the site. So I'm just going to share my screen and with the presentation I created. There we go. And then I'm just going to hide my ugly mug up here and play from start. So welcome to SOFII's User Guide. This is our homepage. If you're familiar with SOFII, you will already be familiar with it. And as you can see, we've got our latest case studies, very coronavirus centric at the moment, obviously. And then we have at the top here, our main sections: history and evolution, inspiration and effectiveness, tools and techniques, CDE, the donor experience project, and WOW, aka World Changers at Work. And as you can see here, in my next slide, I'm going to be diving into the SOFII History Project because it's the first part of our site, really. It's the sort of guide to fundraising, history, the foundations of fundraising. This is a picture of the SOFII History Project with the main contributors on the side here. And the SOFII History Project is essentially a trip through time in SOFII's own time machine, looking at fundraising throughout the ages, from all the way back to antiquity through to the Victorian era and all the way up to the recent past. And it's an absolute treasure trove. Then there's the Best of the Best showcase, which is also part of the History Project in a way, which is just the greatest campaigns of all time by some of the greatest and most familiar organizations. And it's really just a compilation of the greatest fundraising campaigns of all time. And for example, this ActionAid campaign, as you can see, this is a case study in more detail with SOFII's view, and then there's all sorts of information associated with it, such as creator and the originator, the background, the objectives and the summary, all the way through to the results and the costs. And of course, we have a search function. So if you wanted to find that particular ActionAid campaign, you'd be able to search ActionAid in the search box. And you also have a way to click for a more detailed search if you have a particular campaign that you have in mind, rather than just the brilliant stuff that, say, ActionAid or others have been doing. Then we go on to inspiration and effectiveness, which are the sort of main areas of fundraising, the different ways in which you can fundraise. So we have a major donors showcase. This is our major donors showcase, the contents, and at least anyway. As you can see, there's a link to the Commission on the Donor Experience Project 9 and a whole list of great major donor campaigns from around the world. Then we have the tools and techniques. That's the fundraiser's toolbox. Everything you need to be able to create the best campaign possible. And in, say, top tips and how-tos, we have our very, very successful Lisa Sargent's Thank You Letter Clinic. Saying thank you is a fundamental part of successful fundraising. And here are some sample letters that Lisa has put together. And this really is one of our best features because it really just lays out the template for you to just then take it upon yourself to make an even better campaign. Then we have the Jerry Huntsinger tutorials. That's 57 tutorials on direct mail fundraising by an absolute master of the business, and all compiled by the lovely Gwen Chapman. And then we have a personal favorite of mine, The Wit and Wisdom of George Smith, The Art of Creative Fundraising. If you know George, or if you knew George, rather, the late great George Smith, he was just one of the greatest writers when it comes to fundraising. And we've been compiling excerpts from his books, his thoughts, and various other pieces that he's written over the years. And we'll be keeping adding to this section. And it's just a great way to discover the funny, irreverent, and insightful stylings of George Smith. And then on to the World Changers at Work. World Changers at Work was a project launched a couple of years back to celebrate and explore how people are making a real difference in the world through their work. And that can be changing workplace environments, community campaigning, or just being a damn good fundraiser. And we also got to interview a number of incredible people, such as Jiblou Rahman, who is a wonderful chap that I interviewed. He works for Islamic Relief. And as part of a fundraising campaign called Saving Lives Isn't Easy, he went over to North Africa to show just how important charities are as an intermediary between donors and beneficiaries. And it's a hilarious video, and he was a truly interesting and insightful person to speak to. And that's just one part of the WOW project. We've also got WOW Toolbox, opinion pieces, thought pieces, and all sorts of other articles and case studies and interviews in there. And finally, just a closing note is to champion one of SOFII's mantras, which is that no fundraiser should ever feel alone. It's part of why SOFII exists. And that's never more true than for someone who's starting out in the business, be they a young fundraiser or someone who's moving into the sector for the first time in their career. So we created My First Week as a Fundraiser, a section on the site which explores the fundamental principles of what to do when you start out in the business, where to go, what to look for, what to know, and what to practice. And it's absolutely essential reading for anyone who wants to start out in fundraising. Thank you for watching.